Thank you for tuning in to today's update on the tropics for Thursday, 21st September 2023. I am Letitia Humphreys. The Atlantic is looking quite active at this time. We're monitoring a few tropical waves. We also have an area of disturbed weather which is in the northwest Atlantic, and that is expected to merge with a frontal boundary over the next couple of days. We also have Hurricane Nigel, which is in the North Atlantic and expected to become post-tropical by tomorrow. A wave would have moved across our area very early this morning and gave us some shower activity last night and even into this morning. Most of that weather was confined to the islands to the south, but we're also anticipating some more occasional showers throughout today as a result of that wave passing through. A second wave behind that expected to move through over the weekend, not quite as active. A third wave looking more active, that is in the central area of the main development region. And an area we're also keeping a very close eye on, that third tropical wave at the back. That wave has moved off the coast of Africa yesterday, and that wave expected to develop into a tropical depression by this weekend or even into early next week. A look at our radar, just showing what transpired across Antigua and Barbuda and some of the Leeward Islands this morning, where we see Antigua and Barbuda here under this blob. A lot of rainfall mainly on the south and western side of the island. Barbuda, not so much. They would have received some rainfall a bit later on, maybe after 6 this morning. So here is a shot from around 4:25 this morning. This is our present conditions on the outside. Still some spotty showers around, which means we could be seeing some more occasional showers throughout the day. Across the tropics, as I mentioned, there is an area of disturbed weather in the northwest Atlantic, a 30% chance to develop within the next 2 days and a 40% chance within the next 7 days. We have Nigel, which is in the northwest, or in the North Atlantic, sorry, and then we have that area of disturbed weather moving off, expected to be develop into a tropical depression, a 70% chance that that could develop within the next couple of days. Here we are across the Eastern Caribbean, and that tropical wave is presently moving towards the west between 10 to 15 miles per hour. And models are in disagreement. They're not so much agreeing as to exactly where the system will go, but I'll show you when we go further into our update as we go on further. But let's first take a quick look at where Nigel is heading. Nigel is presently just about 495 miles to the southeast of Newfoundland and heading towards the northeast at 30 miles per hour. Nigel, current sustained winds of around 85 miles per hour with a minimum central pressure of 977 millibars. Nigel is forecast to further weaken as it moves over colder waters. The wind shear is also challenging the development of this system any further, and so it will weaken into a tropical storm by the time we get to tomorrow, becoming a post-tropical storm. Now, as I mentioned, the models and that area of disturbed weather that we're monitoring. Here is the European model suggesting that as that system moves across the Atlantic, it is forecast to make a northwesterly turn, bringing it to the northeast of the islands. If you take a closer look, you see that it's spinning it up and taking it up into the Atlantic. So this is our European model. The first initialized time is around Sunday, so that's this weekend Sunday, and it goes on out to Tuesday of next week. Tuesday, well, actually, if we look, we see that it goes further out. It actually goes out until Thursday. So the American model now, a different scenario, bringing that system closer to the area. That system yesterday, or the American model, would have had that system a little bit further to the south. So today's initial run shows that it has moved a little bit further to the north. However, it is still passing quite a close distance to the area, and if that scenario plays out, it means that we're seeing a lot of rainfall associated with it, but hopefully it continues to shift a little bit further from the area, but still give us some well-needed rainfall. So here's the American model also showing the position from Sunday and goes on out in time up until Thursday of the next week. The Canadian model now, another different scenario, puts that center passing just to the south or even over Antigua and Barbuda. That system, less rainfall likely. However, that's another scenario. We can't rule out anyone at this time. continue to monitor them. And even behind the Canadian model is also suggesting another area could develop but move towards the north. It moved towards the north up into the Atlantic. The German model now, or the ICON model, doesn't go too far out in time, but the ICON also suggesting that that wave could take a westerly path, bringing some showers into the area. However, some models suggesting at tropical storm strength. The GFS, or the American model, are quite excited, even suggesting that it could be a category 3 or 4 hurricane by the time it passes our area. Which particular scenario is going to play out? It is still too early to call, as that system has not even been given tropical cyclone status as yet. Once it becomes a tropical cyclone, then you would have other model products that could roll out once it becomes an investigative area. Or I should say, before it becomes a tropical cyclone, but once it becomes an investigative area, you will see some more products starting to roll out, which will give us a better idea of exactly where this system is expected to go. So, season probability remains above normal, where we're expecting 14 to 21 named storms, 6 to 11 hurricanes. So far, we have already exceeded 14 names. Nigel still in progress, but Nigel being the 14th name. Ophelia next on the list. So we have to keep an eye out on which system is expected to develop first, either the one in the Northwest Atlantic or that one that would have just moved off the coast of Africa, which has a higher probability. So most likely that one could become Ophelia. So continue to monitor with us. Subscribe to our page for future updates. I am Letitia Humphreys. Have a great day.